You filthy humans shall bow before me and I want to take over the world, just because!
Welcome to Asians for Screen. I am your boy Miles, aka the Bull Beyonce, and this is my spoiler-free review for Shang-Chi. As always, I'm going to tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, my score out of 10, and if you should see this film in cinemas. But what is this film about? I'm not finna waste no time. Trailer voice, where you day at?
Martial arts master Shang-Chi confronts his past he thought he left behind when he's drawn into the web of the mysterious 10 Rings organization. Directed by Destin Daniel, Simu Liu, Awkwafina and Tony Leung. S.C.R.E.E.N. Shang-Chi.
I'm gonna dive straight into my likes. Action sequences, fight choreography, wavy. We haven't really seen this type of kung fu and hand-to-hand combat in MCU thus far. We've seen it like in the Netflix Marvel universe with Iron Fist, but that was horrible. It was an abomination unto the Lord, and we should not speak about it any further than I just have. I feel like the cast done a great job for different reasons. Of course, Simu Liu, who plays Shang-Chi, very relatable character, does a lot of his stunts, which helps action choreography a lot. We appreciate that. And then you have Tony Leung, who may not be known to Western audiences, but is a very accomplished and prestiged actor. In the Mood for Love is a personal favourite, but I'm glad that he's getting shine in this film, pause, so that the Western audience can, you know, give him his flowers while he's here. And his character in this film, he's a very tragic villain, you know, you feel, and those are the best types of villains, ones that you can relate to, that you can have empathy for their plight, and that's in here in abundance. It's a welcome change from characters that are just like,
ha! You filthy humans shall bow before me and I want to take over the world, just because I love power and no one will stop me.
It's not that. This character has nuance. This character has layers. This character has pain. Michelle Yeoh, the legend. The legend. If you're into like Kung Fu, you must know Michelle Yeoh. An absolute legend. Even though she's not in the film for that long, a legend. And quickly going back to the combat, and speaking of the combat, like in bits you was getting like House of Flying Daggers vibes, and I loved that. At a time I was getting goosebumps just watching it. I needed more of that. Also, there's another cast member, a surprise cast member that I'm not gonna spoil, so you can experience it for yourself. I wasn't expecting it, honestly, but when they were on screen, I'm not gonna say what their gender is, but when they were on screen, I felt like they, apart from Tony Leung, they stole the show. It was it was comical to say the least. I enjoyed that addition thoroughly, and I really also enjoyed how much they dug into like the Chinese folklore. Obviously I'm not Chinese myself, and someone who's more educated and has more knowledge on such would be able to say how good of a job they did or not. But for my money, it was, like I said before, a welcome change to see that poured into. And as I kind of alluded to with Tony Leung, with the tragic villain vibes, I felt like the story was a heartfelt story. They pulled out a lot of emotional strings, which I felt worked, with the whole family, the mother, the father, the, you know, there were a lot of emotional beats that they hit. It tried to hit to make you, you know, care, and I felt like all of those beats hit. In terms of the things that I didn't like, it's nitpicks really, but one thing I would say, like in my pros I spoke about the kung fu, the hand-to-hand combat, and I felt like in the third act of the film, they seem to kind of go away from that and go to like the classic Marvel CGI extravaganza, and I felt that kind of went away from what worked so well in the film. Like, I understand you want to give the spectacle, however, I felt like it kind of lost its way. For that same reason, amongst others in the third act, it felt kind of rushed. And even, again, alluding to the CGI, at times it was giving me Transformers, like, because so much was happening and it was all CGI, sometimes it kind of lost me what was actually happening on the screen. Also, there was a very predictable, I hate when films are predictable. I don't know if it's because I look at so many films, but I recognize when they're setting up like a finale, there's something that happens with a character like midway through, and because it feels so random and so shoed in, it's like the film or the climax is going to be decided by this very moment. I don't know if other people will feel the same when they watch it, but for me it was very predictable. So it took away from the climax a little bit, because it wasn't like, oh my god, look at this thing that's happening. It's like, oh yes, I expected it to happen. and here it is. Also, it felt like, and this was deliberate, we could have known more about the history of the 10 Rings. I am sure we're gonna find out more in the MCU going forward, but I thought within the confines of this film, especially because it's in the title, Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, I don't know much about the 10 Rings, and I would appreciate it a little bit more. Speaking of a little bit more, there's a character, a masked character that shows up, part of Shang-Chi's origin. He's with him from when he's a child, and he's involved in the training, and you see him at various points in the film, and it seems like an important character, but at the same time you receive no payoff whatsoever. You find out nothing about them whatsoever, and I thought that was kind of a weird choice given how placed they were at pivotal moments in the film. It was like watching The Masked Singer, and you know, obviously the allure of the show is finding out who is behind the mask. We don't ever know, and this film lent surprisingly heavy into the fantasy element, which I enjoyed, but at times it lent so far into it, at times it was like a Disney film that was almost too far-fetched. But one thing I will say, which has nothing to do with my pros and cons, I saw bits in this film that made me say, you know what, we could get a live-action Pokemon film, and you know what else? I'm willing to risk it for a chocolate biscuit for a live-action Dragon Ball film. I saw bits in this film when I was like, nah la, inshallah. We could get it. I know we've had one before, and anime films on, but there's something in my heart that requires it. There's a glimmer of hope that says it could be done. Maybe I'm a fool, but take that chance. But anyways, overall, I enjoyed this film. It's like the first film for Phase 4 that really pushes it forward. It takes place after the blip. I enjoyed Shang-Chi, and I would recommend you go see it in cinemas. I would give Shang-Chi a 7.5 out of 10. What did you think of Shang-Chi? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Would you be going to see it in cinemas? Please let me know in the comments below. As always, I've been your boy Miles. We have been the Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N, and until the next video, which should be coming extremely soon, peace.